Every film is jam-packed with movie-making secrets, and that next filmmaking tip or story strategy might be the Christmas miracle you need to get your dream project working and take your cinematic ideas to the next level. Well, we've got good news. Welcome to Film Club. Today we're going to talk about 7+ cinema-making secrets from Home Alone that you can start using right now. And yes, we did go through the entire 1 hour and 43-minute runtime, including the director's commentary, so you don't have to. Stick around for the bonus ones at the end, especially if you've ever felt a little bit lonely during the holidays. Okay, first one up, don't give up on your dreams. Chris Columbus said he was at dire straits when he was offered this script by John Hughes and wouldn't have known what to do after this. If he had given up on his career, he wouldn't have gone on to make Home Alone 2, Harry Potter, Mrs. Doubtfire, they're all classics. So if you're feeling hopeless about your career or your dreams, don't give up. You never know who could help you out, and you never know where your next opportunity is going to come from. Okay, next one up, and this is a big one. Make creative decisions based on how you want your movie to feel. If you watch Home Alone, you probably walk away with, why does this movie feel like Christmas? Well, Chris Columbus talks about that in the commentary. He said the entire inside of the house was a set, and they had the ability to literally make all the wallpaper look like Christmas. All the decorations, all the furniture looks and feels like Christmas. It's not an accident. As a storyteller, you can put things in the frame and take things out of your frame to create a mood. This next one's a doozy if you're going to be working with kids or minors in your story. So Macaulay Culkin, even though he's the star of the show and they had a small studio budget, he still is only available for maybe 5 hours a day because of child labor laws. But they were smart about it. They wrote the script and blocked the scenes in such a way that they could focus on a group of actors at once and then focus on Macaulay Culkin shots and get all the coverage they needed for a single day. That's really smart, and you can do that too. Okay, this next one is essential for every single storyteller, and that's solving your problems on the page before you get on set. Everybody watches Home Alone and probably thinks in the back of their head, how did he get left alone? What's the possibility that the parents are actually going to forget about their kid, right? Well, they solved that problem on the script by having someone mosey up into the back of the van so the mom gets confused, thinking that they have a full head count. Plus, they wrote in the script where the older brother's like rambling off different numbers and stuff. It confuses the mom. There's multiple things in the script that make this story logic work. You can do that too. Solve your story problems on the page before you walk on set if you want to save Christmas. And if this video has been magical or inspirational to you in any way, go ahead and clap the like button so we can help other filmmakers, storytellers, and massive movie nerds like you to find the channel. Okay, this next one is great news for independent filmmakers and low-budget filmmakers like us, and that's a great story can attract great talent. Even though this film might seem like a huge studio film, and it did really well at the box office, there was a point where, being a low-budget film, they actually lost their composer and didn't know what they were going to do. But John Williams read the script and wanted to be a part of this film, and the score is classic. That is the power of a great story. This one's for you if you're about to release your next film or script. Don't worry what the critics think. I know that sounds totally counterintuitive, but Home Alone is a great example of this. When the movie came out, Siskel and Ebert were two of the biggest movie reviewers at the time, and they hated this film. People would trust what they had to say, but it had such a massive opening weekend that this movie ran for 16 weeks. That was like the middle of March. And Siskel and Ebert actually had to go back on TV in February and apologize and say, how could we be so wrong? Just because critics might not like your movie doesn't mean audiences aren't going to love it, and your film can still be super successful. So this next one cracks me up. Don't worry about using stock footage. This is a studio film, and even though they keep saying in the commentary that it's a low-budget movie, they had $18 million. I don't know about you, but as a low-budget, no-budget filmmaker like us, we tried so hard not to use stock footage. And these guys, they have scenes that take place in Paris. They are shameless about using stock footage to set up their scenes. It's just way more practical. They were able to get all the shots for their story. They didn't have to go to Paris. If it helps you save time and money, use stock footage. But maybe you're not at the point where you're making your film yet and you're still writing. This is your opportunity. Rewriting and story development is gold. If you watch Home Alone, the character of Old Man Marley is such an important part of the story. Wasn't even in the original script. They discovered him and started using this character through story development. I've got a hunch that they originally had a scene in the film where some rando walks into the church and starts giving Kevin all this sage life advice about family and friends and making up with people during the holidays, all the things that are important. How many times have you seen that during a Hallmark Christmas movie? It's super cliche, but they probably had the brilliant idea of saying, let's write it into the script, let's make it part of the neighborhood. Maybe he's a neighbor, maybe he's really scary at first, and then maybe by the end they get along and they can have a happy moment. It helps connect with family and with your neighbors. You could be doing that right now. I remember watching Home Alone when I was a kid, and the impression I took away from the movie was very different from the theme the director's talking about. The theme and the concept are very different. I remember watching Kevin get to stay home and eat snacks, eat a ton of pizza, watch as many movies as he wanted, and he was a mastermind with traps, and all of us as kids wanted to be like him. That's very different from the theme. The theme was trying to tap into things like what it means to be alone during Christmas, what it means to have to forgive your family when they do something wrong to you. The film does an amazing job of visualizing this as Kevin comes downstairs on Christmas morning and realizes it's just not the same without family. But even if you don't have family or friends around, there might be someone in your community that, even if they're a little scary, you get to know them and it can make all the difference in their world and in yours. That's the power of a good theme. And one more magical tip is to watch this video if you want to step up your storytelling and take your cinematic game to the next level.